Hello, this is a preview of the presentation that I will give at the Palo Alto Bridge Center on October 31, Halloween of 2024, entitled Bidding is a Conversation. This couple on the first page is having a conversation. It's not about bidding. He's saying, I can cook chicken for dinner. And she says, we have leftovers in the freezer. And he says, well, I also bought some pork belly. And she says, chicken sounds great. And he says, I'll turn on the oven. The reason I put this example here is it has nothing to do with bridge, but the really important thing is that the first response she gave him didn't say, I don't like chicken. And we'll see how that crops up in today's presentation. So what are we going to do today? We're going to talk about how bidding is a conversation. We're going to talk about translating bids into English. We'll talk about the two questions that we're trying to answer in our conversation: what suit and how high. These are the only things you need to think about when you're bidding. We'll talk about the idea of preferring partner back to her first suit, because that's a really important concept and very, very useful. And we'll talk about the notion of partner doesn't like my suit, which we should try not to think. And that's where our couple will reappear. And we'll also have a little section called What Went Wrong. I learn a lot when I look at my own auctions or other people's auctions and ask, how did we end up in the wrong place? So bidding is a conversation. Sometimes we tell partner something, and sometimes we ask partner something. And we're always listening to partner, and we're always eavesdropping on the opponents. The goals of bidding are simply to answer two questions: what suit or no trump, and how high do we want to be? Do we want to be below game or in slam? And if we focus on those two questions, I think we'll find that we become more confident and more comfortable, and our anxiety and frustration will decline. As a reminder, game in no trump usually requires 25 or 26 high card points, and making 4 of a major usually requires about 25 or 26 total points. You can count length and you can count shortness in dummy, the supporting hand. And here's the really important concept. Usually one person knows the answer to one or both of these questions first. Partner doesn't, but that person does. And it's that person who has to take action. And you've probably heard the bridge edict, she who knows goes. Well, I made up another rhyme. If it's a flop, stop. And that's really important. All right, let's dive in and have fun. So first, we're going to look at translating bids into English. Just look at some simple examples. Let's assume the opponent's pass. When opener bids a diamond, opener is saying, I have 12 or more points, really like 12 to 21, and I almost certainly have 4 or more diamonds. You know, rarely opener in standard American will bid 1 diamond with just 3 diamonds, but something like 95% of the 1 diamond opening bids are a real diamond suit. And suppose responder says 1 spade. Well, that can be translated into English. It says, I have at least 6 points and at least 4 spades. Could be 20 points and 9 spades, who knows? But it at this point is just, I have 6 or more high card points and 4 or more spades. And now let's suppose opener says 2 spades. Well, in English, what opener is saying is, I have 4 or more spades, and I have a minimum opener, maybe 12 to a bad 16. With 17 or a 16 that I really like, I'm going to jump to 3 spades. So there's a very clear message here. One of the implications of this is we are going to play in a contract of spades. So responder might say one of several things. Responder might pass. And in English, what responder is saying, we don't have enough for game. Let's stop and play here. Or at the other end of the spectrum, maybe responder has a really nice hand and they bid four spades. And what they're saying is, I'm strong enough for game. I've got 13 or more. And sometimes they're in the middle. And if they're in the middle, they'll bid three spades. And what they're saying is, I'm not quite strong enough for game, so please bid game if you're at the top of your range. Otherwise, pass. And again, all these bids can be translated to English. If we were saying these things in English, the auction would be easy. And once you start thinking of these as English statements, the auction gets easier. So I mentioned there are two questions, what suit or no trump and how high. We're going to look at several hands where we focus on those two questions. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at what the person is thinking and then also what they're bidding. And their bid is translatable into English. So this person on the left, the opener, has, I count 14 high card points, one for length. It's a lovely hand. What suit are you going to play in? Remember, there are two questions. What suit? I don't know. Might be hearts, but there are a lot of other possibilities depending on what partner says. So we don't really know. And how high? We don't really know. Partner could have 0 points, partner could have 20 some points. So at this point, we don't know much, but we just start describing our hand by bidding one heart. And in English, we're saying I have at least 5 hearts and 12 to 21 points. So let's look at responder's hand. What does responder know? Thinking about the two questions, responder immediately knows we want to play in hearts. And what about the level? How high? Well, responder doesn't know, but responder is thinking probably a low level. I mean, maybe opener has a huge hand, but responder's hand is pretty minimal for a response. So responder bids 2 hearts. And that's translated to English as at least 3 hearts and 6 to 10 support points. Not fewer because you would pass, not more because you would follow a different course. It's really important to remember that the bids are translated into English and we don't lie to partner, never lie to partner. So now let's go back to opener's mind. Well, opener, after hearing the 2 heart bid, opener now knows we want to play in hearts. Well, what about the level? Well, opener has 15, responder is limited to 6 to 10. It seems like game is almost certainly out of reach, and opener knows that we need to stop. So opener passes. Well, let's give opener a big hand. Auction would start the same. Opener's thinking we're probably going to play in hearts, and hopefully we're going to play in game. Don't know yet, but that's what opener is thinking. It's really helpful in the auction to be thinking ahead, not just looking at your hand and making a bid. Well, responder with the same hand, so opener bids a heart. Responder with the same hand is going to be thinking the same thing. Hearts, probably low, and bids 2 hearts. And now opener knows, aha, great, we can indeed play in hearts. And gosh, I've got 18, I got 20 points or so. I got a beautiful hand. 6 more points from responder. We can play in game. We rock it up to game and bid 4 hearts. And in English, we're saying, let's play here. I have 19 or more points. The important thing is, let's play here. That's an example of she who knows goes. Sometimes opener is in between the 2 examples that we saw on the previous page. So opener this time has about 16 high, 1 for length is 17. It's really a lovely 17-point hand. Not all high card points are created equal. We love it when we have honors working together like ace king and ace queen. We don't like jacks very much. They're probably not worth a full point. In fact, the queen's probably not worth a full 2 points. So opener is thinking, suit. I don't know. It's possibly spades, but maybe partner's got 5 hearts. I don't know. And how high? Well, I've got a nice hand, 17, but I don't know yet. I need to hear more from partner. So we bid 1 spade, and in English, we're saying I have at least 5 spades, 12 to 21 points. Let's look at responder's hand. Responder, suit. Oh, we're going to play in spades. What about the level? Probably low. Responder says 2 spades. And in English, 3 or more spades, 6 to 10 support points. Let's go back to opener's brain. Opener is thinking suit. Aha, we want to play in spades. What about the level? Well, I don't know. Maybe game. If partner has 6, I'm not comfortable jumping to game. But if partner has a little bit more than that, we should be in game. So opener bids 3 spades. And what that is saying in English is, please bid game if you're at the top of your range. And responder, want to play in spades? I can't accept. We got to stop. So responder passes. I guess in English, responder is saying, sorry, partner, but I didn't put that on the slide. Let's give responder a better hand. Things will start out the same way. And after opener bids 3 spades, well, we've got 4, 7, 9. We've got plenty of strength. We're at the top end of our 6 to 10 that we announced. And we can say, aha, spades. And yes, let's go to game. And we bid 4 spades. So again, it's a conversation, just describing your hand, talking about your hand, and trying to answer the 2 questions. So again, let's focus on the 2 questions. Opener, I count 10, 17 high card points, balanced hand. I'm going to end up opening 1 no trump. At this point, I have no idea what suit we're going to end up in, and I have no idea how high we're going to be. But I am thinking about those things in the back of my mind. So I start with 1 no trump. And when one person on the partnership opens 1 no trump, the other person becomes the captain of the team, because the opening bid is so descriptive that the captain will be able to figure out where they want to play the hand. And in this case, responder is thinking suit. We want to play in no trump. I have no interest in my diamond suit. I want to play in no trump. It pays more. And tricks in a minor suit are lovely things in a no trump contract. So I want to play in no trump. And what level? Well, gosh, 6 and 17, our max is 23. We got to stop. So we pass. And now let's give responder a better hand. I count 11 high card points. I love having that 5 card minor suit. So again, responder becomes captain of the team. Where do we want to play? No trump for sure. And gosh, 11 and 15 is 26. We have plenty of strength for game. So we're going to go to game, and we bid 3 no trump, saying, just like above, I know the answers. Let's play here. Sometimes the conversation is longer. So here, opener has 14 high card points and has no idea what suit you're going to play in and has no idea how high you're going to end up, but just starts describing the hand by bidding 1 club. I didn't put the English translation there. Responder, 4, 7, 10, 11. What suit? No idea. And how high? Well, there's a pretty good chance we're going to get the game, hopefully. If opener was minimum, we won't, but we're hopefully going to go to game. So let's just start describing our hand. We bid 1 heart, saying, I have 4 or more hearts and 6 or more points. When we have 2 4-card majors as responder, we always start with hearts, because if opener has a spade suit, she'll bid spades and we'll find the spade fit. If you bid spades first, you may never find your heart fit. So after responder's 1 heart bid, what does opener know? Well, in terms of suit, opener knows we've got an 8-card heart fit or more, so we want to play in hearts. And what about how high? Well, don't really know. Opener was fairly minimal, so opener simply describes her hand by bidding 2 hearts. And what she's saying is, we have a heart fit. I have at least 4, but I'm not strong enough to invite to game. Heck, you might have only 6 points, and we might be too high already. Now, responder looks at her hand and says, gosh, after opener's 2-heart bid, suit, we want to play in hearts. What about the level? I don't know. I'm not strong enough to go to game on my own, but gosh, we're close. So hopefully we're going to play in game, and responder bids 3 hearts, which says, I can't jump to game, but I'm close. If you're at the top of your range, please bid game. Again, translated into English. An opener in this case, well, they've got a lovely 14-point hand. I'm thinking, well, we're definitely in hearts. I'm thinking if responder has 11 or 12 to invite me, we've got plenty to play in game, and I'm going to bid 4 hearts. So again, typical bidding conversation, a club, a heart, 2 hearts, 3 hearts, 4 hearts. Translating them to English and focusing on the 2 questions makes it a lot easier. A really important concept. You can prefer opener back to her first suit. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, let's look at opener's hand. Opener has 12 high card points, 1 for length, and bids a diamond. Opener has no idea where you're going to end up in terms of suit and no idea how high you're going to end up, but starts by bidding a diamond. And again, saying, I probably have a diamond suit and I've got 12 to 21 points. Responder looks at her hand and says, suit. I don't know where we're going to end up. How high? Probably low. I've only got 6 high card points, but I've got to tell partner that I've got enough to say something. So I bid a heart saying I have at least 4 hearts and at least 6 points. And now what does opener do? Well, opener really has 2 choices here. One is opener could rebid 1 no trump, which says I have a balanced hand and I have 12 to 14 high card points. If I had more, I would have opened 1 no trump. So the auction, a diamond, a heart, 1 no trump, it's actually a very descriptive and wonderful auction. Opener is saying very clearly that I have 12 to 14 high card points and a balanced hand. With this hand, my gut tells me that a better bid is going to be 2 clubs. I still don't know what suit we're going to end up in. I don't know how high we're going to be, but I'm going to further describe my hand by bidding 2 clubs. I also have a club suit. Also suggesting I don't have 4 hearts and suggesting I don't have 4 spades, not suggesting, but saying those 2 things, and suggesting maybe not so comfortable with no trump. So what does responder know at this point? Oh, and by the way, with a really big hand, opener would jump shift to 3 clubs, telling partner I've got 19 plus. After responder's 2 club bid, what do we know? Well, in terms of suit, gosh, opener couldn't support my hearts. And opener started with diamonds and then bid clubs. Could be 5-5, could be 4-4, could be 5-4. I'm going to go ahead and decide that diamonds is probably our best place. And I've only got 6 points, and opener was limited by the fact that she didn't jump shift. So we don't want to go to game. We want to get out. We want to stop. And it looks like the best place to stop is 2 diamonds. So we bid 2 diamonds. Here's the really, really important thing. This is not a raise of opener's suit. This is simply preferring partner back to her first suit at the same level. If responder had had, say, 4 hearts and 4 spades and just 2 diamonds and 4 clubs, responder would have passed. She would have chosen clubs as the place to play, but it looks from responder's perspective like 2 diamonds is a safer place. So at this point, opener knows we want to play in diamonds, and opener also knows that we want to stop because responder didn't do anything exciting. Responder's 2 diamond bid is a very minimal bid. So we know we want to stop and we pass. Super, super important thing. Opener must not get excited about the two diamond bid. All responder was doing was saying, I think we're better off in diamonds than in clubs. And let's look at another example of the same idea. Opener has 14 high card points, one for length, lovely hand. Opener has no idea what suit you're going to play in. You're going to start by bidding spades, but it depends what responder says. And level, you have no idea. You might end up in slam. You might end up playing in one spade if it goes pass, pass, pass. So you start by bidding a spade. Responder looks at her hand, and responder says, I don't know what suit we're going to end up in. I think from a level perspective, I think we're going to end up pretty low because I have a pretty minimal hand, but I do have enough to say something. So I'll bid one no trump. And what that's saying is I have 6 to 9 high card points. I have no suit to bid at the one level. And in fact, I couldn't raise your spade suit. After the one no trump bid, what does opener know? Well, opener knows suit, no idea. What about the level? Opener knows that we want to stop because opener had only 14 and one is 15 high card, 14 high and one for length. With one no trump response from responder, no way you can play in game. So opener knows that we want to get out low. So opener has already said, hey, partner, I have 5 spades. So opener bids 2 clubs, saying, gosh, I also have a club suit. So now what does responder do after, after the 2 club bid? Well, what do we know about suit? I don't know. I don't know. It seems like we have a 5-2 spade fit. It seems like if partner had a spade suit and a club suit that we can't play in either of my red suits. Um, I think the best thing to do is going to be go back to spades. You know, we might take the same number of tricks in a spade suit and a spade contract as a club contract, but major suits pay more. So it's better to play in 2 of the major. And I'd probably rather play in a 5-2 fit than a 4-3 fit. And we also know from a level perspective, we got to stop. So responder bids 2 spades. Very similar to the last slide. Really, really important. This is not a raise of opener's suit. This is simply preferring opener back to her first suit and saying, I think we're better off here than in 2 clubs. So opener, remember opener already knew we had to stop. Well, now opener knows we want to play in spades and we want to play at a low level. So opener will pass and they'll play in 2 spades. Again, super important, just like the last page. Opener must not get excited about the 2 spade bid. I'm sure you've seen situations at the table where the auction starts like this, and then opener gets excited. Oh, she raised my spades. And opener goes on to 3 spades, and all of a sudden you're in a boatload of trouble. If you focus on the 2 questions, opener already knew that you had to stop low. And so stop at 2 spades. Don't go up 1 level to stop. Here's a good example of being okay to stop, often essential. We looked at a couple examples. Here's another one. So opener has 14 high card points and 1 for length. I don't like this hand as well as the one on the previous page because of where the high cards are located. But opener is thinking, don't know what suit, don't know what level. I'll start describing my hand by bidding 1 spade. Translated to English, 5 or more spades, 12 to 21 points. Responder. Responder has no idea what suit to play in. Opener could have 5 spades and 5 clubs. Who knows? No idea. And what about level? Well, you've only got 7 high card points. The fact that opener bid spades looks like you have a misfit, maybe. So you think you want to get out low. But again, opener could have 20 some points. So we just start describing our hand. We bid one no trump. The one no trump response is a really, really important bid. And let's translate it to English. It says 6 to 9 high card points. I can't raise the suit that you opened. I don't have any suit that I can bid at the one level. Bidding one no trump as a responder does not promise a balanced hand. An opener needs to remember that. So opener looks at her hand and thinks, I'm not crazy about no trump. I do have this decent diamond suit. If I bid a diamond suit, now I'm giving partner a choice of diamonds or spades, and partner can make a good choice. So we go ahead. We're thinking got to get out low because we certainly don't have the strength for game. So we describe our hand further by bidding 2 diamonds. I have a second suit. And again, per the previous page with 19 points, we would have jumped to 3 diamonds. So we're actually telling partner something about our strength. So now partner looks at her hand and thinks, what suit do we want to play in? Well, heck, diamond seems like a good place. And what level do we want to be at? Well, we want to get out low. We don't want to go anywhere. So responder passes. And if you look at the 2 hands, 4 diamonds or 4 clubs, you're probably going to make 4 diamonds or 4 clubs for a plus 130 in duplicate. 2 diamonds is a great contract. If you end up playing in no trump or spades, you might make 1 and score a lot less. So nice, simple auction got us to a really good contract. Let's come back to this really important idea. Try to not think partner doesn't like my suit. So let's look at opener's hand. 15 high card points, 1 for length. Again, a lovely hand. You don't know what suit you're going to end up in, and you don't know how high you're going to go. You start describing your hand by bidding a heart. Responder, what do you know? What suit do you want to play in? Well, the answer is hearts. You know you've got a heart fit, and you've got 9, 11 high card points, 1 for shortness. You got 12 points. If opener has anything more than a bare minimum, you want to be in game. So hopefully you're going to be in game. And now the question is, what do you say? Well, 2 hearts would be an underbid, right? 2 hearts would only promise 6 to 10 support points. You've got more like 12. With this hand, I'm going to bid 1 spade. And what I'm going to say in English is I have at least 4 spades and at least 6 points. Really important idea. This spade bid does not deny heart support. It just is you deciding to tell partner something about your hand that's an accurate statement. You know you want to end up in hearts, but you can't bid 2 hearts because it would say you have 6 to 10 support points and you're better than that. And you can't bid 3 hearts. The point range is right, 11 to 12 support points, but the best way to play this jump to 3 hearts is that it promises at least 4 card support. The reason that's so important is that 5-4 trump fits generally play a lot better than 5-3 trump fits. So when opener knows you have at least 4 card support, opener can make a much better decision about whether to accept your invitation of game. So let's go back over to opener. At this point, opener has no clue what suit to play in, and opener also has no clue how high to end up. So opener describes her hand more by bidding 2 clubs, saying, I have a club suit as well. And now responder jumps to 3 hearts. Remember we were talking about preferring opener back to her original suit? We could have bid 2 hearts with a weaker hand. Well, If we only had two-card heart support, we would have bid something and then preferred partner back to hearts. In this case, we now jump to three hearts. And what that jump says is I have exactly three hearts and 11 to 12 support points. I couldn't immediately jump to three hearts. So I did something else first, and then I jumped to show you that we have a fit and to show you that I have invitational strength, but to caution you that I have exactly three hearts, not four. Kathy Harper calls this sequence doing the two-step. So instead of just jumping straight to three hearts, you do something first and then you jump to three hearts. And you're saying, I've only got three cards in support. An opener with this lovely hand will accept the invitation. So let's go back to this hand, same exact hand, and let's remember the people that we saw on page 1. I can cook chicken for dinner. We have leftovers. I also bought some pork belly. Chicken sounds great. I'll turn on the oven. She never said, I don't like chicken. So how would the auction go on this hand? He starts by bidding a heart. She bids a spade. He bids two clubs. And now she bids three hearts, saying, partner, hearts sound great. Chicken sounds great. I've got a pretty good hand. I can't bid game on my own, but I'm inviting, and he accepts the invitation. And the important thing here is that when she bid one spade, she never said, I don't like hearts. And if you can keep this example in mind, I think you'll find your bidding conversations go more easily. So what's the 10% to remember? Bidding is a conversation. We're only trying to answer two questions. This is all you want to think about. What suit and how high? And one person usually has the answers first. And that person has to take action. If you know you've got game, you got to go. If you know to stop, you got to stop. Listen to your gut, kind of feel the force. Make bids that convey your feeling. Make bids that tell partner we're stopping, or we're going to game, or I'm inviting game. I think the two most common oopsies in bidding made by newer players are inviting when you know you should be in game, and then unfortunately partner declines your invitation. Or the opposite side of that, making invitational bids, or even worse, forcing bids when your gut says we have to stop. So I think these are two really important things. And by focusing on the two questions, you'll tend to minimize the times that this happens. So let's spend a few pages looking at what went wrong, because I think it's fun. So this was an interesting hand. Dana and I were playing north-south, and the east-west auction went like this. East bid a diamond. West bid one no trump. Those are both very reasonable bids. East bid two spades and West bid two no trump. The two no trump was completely impossible to make. Dana and I got a great score because they went too high. Well, what was their big mistake? And the answer is the two spade bid. Why was that such a big mistake? West's one no trump bid promised 6 to 9 high card points and said, I don't have a suit I can bid at the one level, so I don't have 4 spades. There's no reason for East to show her 4-card spade suit. East knows that they don't have a fit. East knows we don't have a fit. Let's play in no trump and let's get out low. If East passes, they end up in one no trump and they get an average score on this hand. The one no trump bid says, I have 6 to 9 points. I don't have 4 hearts. I don't have 4 spades. So again, translating it to English, if East had thought about what that meant in English, East would not have bid 2 spades. After the one no trump response, what should East be thinking? We got to stop below game. And where do we want to play? No trump. Certainly not spades. We don't have an 8-card fit because West didn't bid a spade. And in fact, East should pass the one no trump bid. Let's look at a few more examples. Again, usually one person knows first the answer to the two questions and must guide the team. So what's wrong with this bid by responder, the two no trump bid? Okay. One club, I got 12 to 21 points, probably a club suit. Responder was a lovely hand, 13 high card points. Responder starts describing her hand by bidding one spade, and then opener bids one no trump. And in English, what does that mean? In English, it means 12 to 14 points and a balanced hand. Well, heck, responder has 13. We've got the strength for game. Responder actually knows we have the strength for game and we want to play in no trump because partner couldn't tell me that she had 4 spades. So responder should bid 3 no trump. This is one of those oopsies. The 2 no trump bid is invitational and opener might pass it if opener is minimal. Let's look at another one. Opener bids a heart, responder 13 high card points. Responder is thinking, we want to be in game. We just need to figure out where. So responder bids 1 spade, saying, I have at least 4 spades, at least 6 points. Responder is thrilled when opener bids 2 spades, confirming that they have a spade fit and saying, my hand is pretty minimal. Well, heck, it doesn't matter that the hand is minimal, say 12 to 16-ish. Responder knows we want to be in spades and we want to be in game. So responder should just go ahead and bid 4 spades. 3 spades is invitational. Opener might pass. One more oopsie of the same, actually of a different ilk. Opener bids a heart, responder bids 2 hearts. Well, yeah, responder knows you have a heart fit, and it's wonderful to tell opener that you've got a heart fit. But responder has 11 high and 1 for shortness, 12 points. 2 hearts shows 6 to 10 points and at least 3 hearts. Your hand is much better than that. You already know you want to be in game, almost certainly. If you bid 2 hearts, opener could pass and you could miss a game. So you should bid 3 hearts, showing 11 to 12 points and at least 4 hearts. And one more page of these kinds of examples. Usually one person knows first. What's wrong with these bids? 1 club, 1 spade, 1 no trump, 2 diamonds. What did the 1 no trump say in English? Balanced 12 to 14 high card points. Responder 3, 6, 9 high card points. Responder knows you have to stop. And responder knows no trump is an okay place. So responder, in my view, should pass. The 2 diamond bid is a forcing bid. Responder is an unlimited hand. So opener is thinking, gosh, I need to tell responder more about my hand. And all of a sudden, you're going to get up too high. Opener bids a heart. Responder with this lovely spade suit bids 1 spade, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points. And opener rebids 2 spades, showing around 12 to 15. Responder knows spades. I think responder has to stop. I don't think responder has invitational strength. Responder should just pass. The problem is that 3 spades is invitational, and if opener has maybe 14 points, she's going to very happily bid 4 spades, and it's probably going to be a real struggle to make it. And finally, One heart by opener, responder bids two hearts. What's wrong with that bid? Well, two hearts shows 6 to 10 points and at least three hearts. Your hand is much worse than that, so tell partner, just pass. Interesting, later, maybe you can raise hearts. Maybe it goes a heart, pass, pass. The next person bids a spade. Opener rebids two hearts. The next person bids two spades. Well, now you can bid three hearts. Opener is not going to get overly excited. Opener is going to know that you're weak and competing and you had support but just couldn't show it the first time. Responder will have or opener will have a perfect description of your hand. So there's some appendix slides. I'm not going to go through those today, but you can always look at them later in the handout. So I hope this was fun for you. I know it was fun for me. I'll stop sharing and I'll bid you farewell. Thanks again. Bye-bye.